Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from third group, and in this video we would like to share to you the material about gender in EFL classroom, Transivity analysis in English textbook for Indonesian student. So let's get started. And let's go to see the first slide. It's said that gender has been an emerging issue in education since it is involved in how teacher and student establish social commitment to teaching and learning practice. And Sunderland notes in 1992 that gender manifests not only on the level of materials, but it also manifests in various levels which interact within the context, political, social linguistic, and educational. You can see at the table context in the figure 1. Okay, and it is considered important to take serious of the content of learning materials, since it is believed to influence the teaching and learning process that take place. In this regard, special attention was paid to one type of learning material, which was widely used in school textbook. Okay, let's move to the second slide. It is said that sexism textbook, as Yao Ping in 2005 suggests, can be avoided by presenting the figure of man and woman in a fair range of human interests, traits, and capabilities without omitting the action and achievement of women. Also, this statement is supported by Clegg in 2008 and Goff and Watt in 2000, who consider it important for the student to be exposed with the learning materials, as they will subconsciously form their own images of male and female as members of society as part of identity information. Maksudnya di sini diskriminasi dalam buku teks itu dapat dicegah dengan menggambarkan peran laki-laki dan perempuan dalam keragaman minat, karakteristik, dan kapasitas manusia yang sama, tanpa mengabaikan perilaku dan pencapaian oleh perempuan. Nah, juga dari prestasi dan dengan materi pembelajaran yang telah mereka dapatkan secara tidak sadar itu membentuk karakter mereka sebagai pria dan wanita, juga sebagai anggota masyarakat. Okay, let's move to the next slide. It's about gender roles. As you can see, there are 3 points on the slide. Poin yang pertama itu tentang definisi gender menurut Rips dan Baden pada tahun 2000, yang mengatakan bahwa gender itu didefinisikan sebagai gagasan dan praktik yang ditentukan secara sosial tentang apa itu perempuan atau laki-laki. Untuk peran gender itu di sini dikatakan menurut Lorber dan Blackstone pada 2003 itu peran gender itu membentuk berbagai jenis pengalaman hidup untuk laki-laki dan perempuan, sehingga berdasarkan pengalaman-pengalaman tersebut menghasilkan berbagai jenis perasaan, kesadaran, hubungan, keterampilan, sehingga mengakibatkan adanya label feminin atau maskulin terhadap gender tersebut. Dan juga karena adanya budaya dan tingkat kekuatan yang dimiliki laki-laki dan perempuan dalam bermasyarakat itu mengakibatkan adanya serangkaian gagasan tentang perilaku yang sesuai untuk mengatur kehidupan laki-laki dan perempuan. Okay, the next is gender symmetry and gender asymmetry. The discussion of gender asymmetry and gender asymmetry often appear in the research of domestic violence along with other keywords such as intimate terrorism, intimate partner violence or IPP, and violent resistance. Thus, the attempt to define gender symmetry and gender asymmetry mostly find its way to sociology and law context. Okay, the first is gender symmetry. And gender symmetry can be viewed as a theory that highlights a condition where women commit violence at the same rate as men, which occur in region at a particular period of time. But gender asymmetry is a condition where women receive violent treatment much more than men in a domestic setting. Men commission of intimate partner violence against women, in many cases, originates from the perception of masculinity and patriarchy. Domination of one group over other implies power asymmetry as its goal, and it's depend on it. The exercise of power asymmetry color the interaction between those who are associated with its domination and those who are on receiving end. And that's all from me. And next material will be delivered by Elfira Afriyanti. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, hi fellas, I'm Elfira. How is your day? I hope you're doing well. Okay, let's get started. This is my turn and the material is about the literature review. And I'm going to highlight what are the discussion of it. So without any further ado, let's get to the list. The first is gender issues in EFL textbook. Previous research on the topic of gender representation in EFL textbook has noted issues such as the number of males and females occurrence in teaching material, male personas, noun and pronoun system, and discourse of the gender roles. In Hartman and Just research state that such automatization might encourage the positioning of women to be the second class in the society. For the example, the naming of he or she, where he always comes first, or Mr. and Mrs. The occurrence of male in most EFL textbooks indicate women's invisibility in literature and media, which should be the primary concern for educator and publisher. It means that the fact the women do not receive as much as attention as men in books often lead of heavy gender bias, which mostly materializes in the order of mentioning the pair of sex. Then, regarding gender issues that appear on textbook and the use of textbook in a classroom, Sunderland 2000 proposed an analytical framework that took account of both the text itself and what is said about it. This framework is in the form of classification system, which can accommodate the different discordant treatment according to the different text type. So, we can conclude that the model provides an outlook of how the textbook used in the study positioned issues of gender, whether they maintain the representation of gender roles or go beyond that representation. The implication of this is mostly visible in classroom use of the text. Okay, next is systemic functional linguistics. Based on what has been explained in previous section, gender is practically living in a discourse and can be identified through the use of language. Therefore, to comprehend the relation between gender and language, it is important to gear toward language in the lens of systemic functional linguistics. So let's take a look to the text. Systemic functional linguistics is a social theory of language originally developed by a linguist, Michael Halliday, and expanded in the last 2 decades through the work of many scholars around the world. So from this discussion, there come some theories. I will tell only several theories. The first is the theory situates language development in its socio-historical context, linking pattern of language use to culturally relevant situations. Then the second is the theory suggests that language is the main channel through which the pattern of living are transmitted as a medium for an individual to act as a member of a society, to adopt its culture, mode of thought and action, and beliefs and values. Then, language works and engineers structure to construct meaning as they represent the world and its reality. So, that is the point of the part of how language then becomes the representation of word through the sound mind, or borrowing the speaker's land while seeing world, leaving the trace to infect the underlying ideology as well as beliefs, values, and attitude. And then we can share within the language use. This is clearly explicated how language is then eligible to represent how the mind subject gender and the gender are gendering, also to why and how it matters to them. The last is transitivity system in systemic functional linguistics to explore gender roles in textbook language. According to systemic functional linguistics, transitivity system relies one of three meta-functions of language developed by Halliday. Those are experiential, interpersonal, and then textual meta-function. And my explanation is transitivity in systemic functional linguistics generally refers to how meaning is represented in clause. Linguistically, it is concerned with propositional meaning and function of syntactic elements. In short explanation, transitivity refers to grammatical system by which the experiential meaning of the clause is achieved, and it is the resource for interpreting and expressing events, happening, goings on, mental state, saying, behaviors, and relation of the different kinds. And then, the transitivity discriminates 6 different types of process in English. Those are material, mental, rational, verbal, behavioral, and existential. And then the principle of the 3 components, they are process, participant, and circumstances. Okay, that's all the discussion about literature review of the journal. And now let's go to the next speaker.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. How are you today? I hope that you all doing good, doing great. Please stay healthy and please stay at home. So, I'm Dini Rahayu as the third speaker of this group. Basically, the material that I'm going to discuss with all of you here is about the method that the researcher used when conducting this research. Probably you already know about the method when you want to conduct a research. There are 3 methods. The first one is quantitative research method, then qualitative research method, and the last is mixed method, both qualitative and quantitative research method. Okay, so the research method that the researcher used in this research is qualitative research method, qualitative analysis, qualitative descriptive analysis. Actually, there is no much discussion about this part, about the method of the research. So to help you easier understanding this material, just let's move to the PowerPoint. So now we are talking about method. The researcher employed qualitative descriptive analysis to embark on investigating the portrayal of gender roles in selected English textbooks for junior high school students. Once the textual data were obtained, they were approached by the Transivity system according to Halliday and Mathiesen 2014. So based on Halliday and Mathiesen, there are following steps of this method. Okay, the first one is the facts were analyzed at clause level. Then the second one, the components of the participant, for example, the actor, sayer, censor, or goal, phenomenon, verbiage, the process, for example, process of the material, verbal, mental, existential, and circumstances, for example, circumstances of location and time, matter, manner, accompaniment, were identified as the prerequisite to further analyze the clauses. So here are the example of material process assigned to both male and female character. So you can take a look at this white like board or white like square. Rudy is playing ball with his dog. So there is a sentence, Rudy playing ball with his dog. So Rudy here become an actor, is playing become a process which is material, and ball is become a goal, and when with his dog is circumstances which accompaniment. Another example is Lita and Anna are playing swing. So Lita and Anna here become an actor, are playing become a process which is material, swing become goal. So this is like a subject, verb, and object or adverb, such as like that. This is according to the book Interactive English, Holiday in the Batch, page 60. Okay, so the third one is the observer components were labeled by specific roles based on the represented participants following the professed theories of transitivity system. And the last one is once the linguistic analysis was accomplished, an interpretation within the framework of gender roles was conducted. So that's all the discussion about the method of this research. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this my explanation can be useful for us, can help your understanding towards this material. Thank you so much. Let's move to the next speaker.
Hi, I'm Gemi Muhammad G as the fifth speaker. So recently you have already watched the video about method, and now in this video we are focusing on findings and discussions. Based on the analysis of textual data employing transitivity system of EFL, the field that both male and female characters are depicted to be involved as the participant in 6 types of processes. They are material, mental, relational, behavioral, and verbal. Now, if you look at the table number 1, it's about the distribution of processes in analyzed text. It presents the distribution of processes which shows the asymmetrical number of occurrences between male and females participant in text analyzed. And in the second table is about types of circumstances associated with male and female characters. It shows there are 3 main aspects signifying the portrayal of gender roles. The first one is the number of appearances of male and female characters in relation to the processes involved. Second is circumstantial elements associated with male and female characters. The third is lexical choices employed in describing male and female characters. And that's all about the findings and discussions. I hope you'll find it helping. and thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is my turn to explain the last part. It's about discussion and conclusion. Let's see to the material. First is discussion. The first evidence discussed is the number of appearances of male and female characters. From this point of view, male characters dominate the role of participant. They are prominently portrayed as the characters who hold important roles in the stories. Meanwhile, females are more likely portrayed as ghosts, the ones who are affected by the affection of the actors. The domination of male over female characters in them of their appearances and role explicate the pattern of power relation between males and females that shape norms for masculinity and femininity. The domination of male characters also becomes the point of departure of the second point that signifies the portrayal of gender roles. The last evidence that signifies the portrayal of gender roles within the contents of the textbooks is the lexical choice in relation to male and female characters. Based on the evidence above, it can be claimed that the textbook have portrayed gender roles in an asymmetrical manner, which favors males' roles rather than females' roles. The portrayal of asymmetrical gender roles in the textbooks show that the textbooks carry ideology of power and domination in the discourse of gender, maintained by the society reflected in the books. It illustrates the norms and values which are tolerable as well as acceptable in a real-life situation. However, the textbook present a fair range of human interests, traits, and capabilities through their female characters. Such attempts can be identified from the way the textbook avoid the oppression of females. Furthermore, the textbook can be regarded to meet needs of the students as the user of the textbook to expand their knowledge regarding heterosociability, attempt to accomplish their construction of gender identity. Acker 2003, Gove and Wall 2000. The next is conclusion. In conclusion, male characters dominate the roles of participant. They are more frequently represented than female characters in the apparent process along the narrative, while female characters tend to be involved in their actions or activities taking place around their private spheres. The selected textbook over two standpoints, serving as texts which maintain traditional gender roles, yet at the same time also providing gender roles that go beyond the stereotype males and females roles. That's all from group 3. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.